Hello, my friends. Coach Jeremy Hirschkorn here in Bellingham, Washington at Jet Movement Academy. Happy Friday to you. Today's training is going to be about adaptability. Okay, adaptability is one of the best attributes I think a person can have in general, but especially when it comes to fitness program. Okay, being adaptable is going to be key. So we kind of go through this process of preparing for a new program, and then it takes some action, and then we experience what's going on. We learn from it. Then we have to adjust and then act again, and we just kind of repeat this cycle. And so I was thinking about that, and when it comes down to it, this kind of ties into something I was talking about the other day with never being fully ready to get started. Is we can prepare for something, but then it requires action. Okay, and so I don't know why we treat it differently when we haven't done anything for a while, and then we decide to prepare for a new exercise program, and then we do it. Okay, the same thing happens when you fail at that program and then you learn from it and readjust and then you do it again. But for some reason, we put this negative connotation on having to adjust our program, right? But it essentially preparing in the first place and then adjusting down the road are the same thing. We're using things we've learned to make an adjustment to prepare us for the task at hand. And so realistically, the more times we fail and make adjustments, the closer we're getting to the right choice. Does that make sense? So instead of trying to learn everything and get it all in our brain back here and then dive into a program, it's better to just start some action, but then be in tune with what you're doing and constantly, monitoring it and seeing if it's working, right? It's essentially the scientific method. Okay. A training protocol is essentially a hypothesis. I think this stuff is going to give me this result. And then you test it. Okay. The key here is when you're wrong, when the program isn't working, it's the wrong program, the variables aren't accounted for, you have to make an adjustment and you have to be okay with being wrong. Okay. Scientists are constantly wrong. They're trying to support a hypothesis, okay, that's never been supported before, and they have to be okay with the idea that maybe it won't be. Or they can look at it as, I'm going to prove that this doesn't work, and I'm going to go try it and see what happens. But it's this constant trying, it's action, it's doing things, and then paying attention to the results that it gives, and then adjusting. And we have to constantly be testing these hypotheses, right? I think this is going to get me this result. If it does, great. If it doesn't, also, okay, great. We're going to move on. We're going to figure it out. This has happened in my own training a countless number of times. And that's what I want to talk about a little bit here as we're going to do a recap of, I do the end of the month recap of my own program for myself and the progress I've had on my own goals. It's kind of a way for me to check in, but also share with you guys my ups and downs and kind of my process to get where I'm at and how I want to make myself better. I can't tell you the number of exercises that I've abandoned and then re-picked up again and then abandoned again. Okay. The same thing might work for a little while and then not work after a month or two. Okay. And that's frustrating. That's hard to hear. A lot of trainers will use that as an excuse as to why your program or their program isn't working for you. Well, it changes. Everybody's different. Everybody's unique. Sure. So what you need to take into account is the fact that even the most perfect program for you right now is eventually going to need to adapt and change as your body changes. We're constantly changing according to the stimulus that's placed around us. So it might not even be the program. It might be work stress, home life, relationships with other people, the state of the world. All of these things change the stimulus that's constantly bombarding us, and our training, okay, and our diet as well need to reflect those things that we're dealing with. So it's not always going to work, okay, and it's not always going to work for a long time. It's going to constantly be varied. The work is not done. So that's why people say, I'm just getting old. You've gotten tired of adjusting. You've gotten tired of learning. Okay, you've gotten stagnant. You've gotten into a comfort zone, and you don't want to break out of that, and you don't want to learn anymore. You don't want to try new things. You don't want to push yourself anymore. That's what it comes down to, and that's okay. We can't spend our whole life grinding like that. That's probably not enjoyable. So, take the rests, but learn from them and adjust and make new attempts at this thing. Okay. So in my own personal practice, okay, I set goals at the beginning of every month. Some of them I hit, some of them I don't, if you've been following along. This month has been particularly unique because about halfway through the month, we started a softball season. And if you know me, you know that is one of my favorite things in the world to do. It's my Zen time. It's where I'm completely myself. I'm not worried about anything else, and I can just go out there and play ball. And so we started men's league on Thursdays, but this year I'm playing co-ed with my wife and some other friends as well. So we got back-to-back nights. So for my training schedule, that's very, very interesting. Okay, that means the halfway point of my week to the back half of my week, I'm doing some physical, intense activity because that's just the way I like to play. I like to fly around and run and sprint and dive for stuff, and I kind of beat myself up as I play. So in the middle of the month, I had to really adjust all of my goals. Like, I'm not going to be doing sled pushes on Fridays anymore because I'm playing Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday, that'd be a lot on the legs. I moved my pull-ups to Tuesday. I did my sleds on Monday. I'm kind of going to have to front load my week now and make Monday and Tuesday my intense exercise days where I'm trying to get a lot of volume and work done. Wednesday is going to be kind of a recovery day from the workouts, so that Thursday can be like a calisthenics and kind of a recovery day, but more priming to get into the games for Wednesday and Thursday. And then Friday, I'm hoping to kind of get back into a calisthenics, something to kind of get my body moving again, get the blood flowing, that kind of stuff. And then as always, we try to keep the weekends active. So we're trying to do hikes and family adventures and that kind of stuff. But I might try to go Sunday, Monday, Tuesday as like my hard workout days. Wednesday, a lighter day. Thursday, pretty much nothing. Friday, real recovery. Saturday, recovery. We'll kind of see how it goes. So I'm listening to my body and I'm adapting as I go. Okay. And with that, all these other variables are going to need to change, right? Our diet's going to have to change a little bit. The timing of everything's going to be different because games are late on Thursdays. So my rest periods are going to be different. It just really changes the landscape of my daily life. And so we have to take those changes and those flows into account and reflect those within everything we do. And it would be a catastrophe if I just decided that I'm going to just keep doing my regular program. That wouldn't last very long, right? I wouldn't be able to play at the level I want, probably hurt myself, okay? But it would be equally as catastrophic to me if I decided to just not work out during the season, okay? That's going to create problems in and of itself. So what has to happen is adjusting, okay? And luckily I've been playing this game for a lot of years, and it's getting easier to kind of figure out what my body needs and listen to my body. And at the root of this, okay, I know the story today is adaptability, being able to adapt and adjust. But at the root of that, it's doing things on purpose. Okay, it's being in tune with our body, listening to the feedback that it gives us, and then doing purposeful things in response to that. So I hope that's helpful for you. Remember to just be willing to adjust, and that's okay. All right. I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend, and we will see you back next week. Humbeb.